We are in LAX airport, having some lunch. Woo! Gonna board in half an hour. Just took off from LAX. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are in London having, what is our breakfast called?
It's called a full Monty.
Full Monty, traditional British breakfast. We're in a really cool restaurant. Their first time being in another country together. Hello, London. We got our rolling bags.
About to leave London.
We're getting ready to land in Barcelona.
Okay, here we are. We made it.
We're in Barcelona.
Barcelona. It's in the airport still. You excited?
Oh yeah. We made it.
Woo!
Hi. We're in a taxi.
Hi. Oh, you're recording?
Going to our Airbnb. We met him.
Hey, Vlad.
Привет. С Барселоны.
We're in traffic.
Oh, está cerca. Sí.
Say hello.
Hi. We're in Barcelona.
Barcelona. We made it.
We're here. We are in our first Airbnb. This is our penthouse terrace view.
Bienvenidos a Barcelona.
We are on the 4th floor. There's everybody else's patio. It's very big.
We gotta get our room too.
Okay, there's our room. It's not much. What? Nice. Up at the top there, that's TV Davo. It's a church, and where the oldest amusement park is. Buenos días a Barcelona. It's 6 a.m. and it's really quiet. Доброе утро. Это наша маленькая кухня в Барселоне. Buenos días. Привет, Влад. Вот мы готовим завтрак. Делаем бутербродики. Так наш вид. This is our view from the kitchen. Have our very simple breakfast.
Buenos días. Bienvenidos a Barcelona.
Bologna sausage and cheese with boiled eggs and cream cheese.
Speak to me. Okay, Marina.
Buenos dias.
Buenos días.
Buenos días, amigas.
Our scrumptious breakfast sandwich. The sun's coming up over the building. We are in the metro. I know. I just wanted to say. We are going to take the bus to the center. We're going to Montserrat today. Montserrat in Catalonia, Spain means a lot of things to a lot of different people. To some, it's a monastery. To some, it's a natural park. To some, it's a mountain, and for others, it's all of these things. Montserrat Monastery has had a presence in Montserrat Mountain since the 9th century. The monastery sits proudly in the mountain, practically at its peak, and seems to be at one with its surroundings. People come to the monastery for lots of different reasons. Some to marvel at the architecture, some for religious retreats. Many who come to the monastery visit the famous Black Madonna statue that is inside the basilica. According to legend, La Moreneta was carved by St. Luke and brought to Montserrat by St. Peter in 50 AD. Then it was hidden from the Moors in the Santa Cava, or Holy Cave, near the monastery. The statue was discovered by young shepherds who claimed they had seen a strange light in the sky and heard music coming from a cave in the mountain, which led them to discovering the statue in the year 880. From that moment on, the statue remained on the Montserrat mountain, becoming one of the most famous pilgrimage sites in all of Spain. Montserrat is also home to one of the oldest boys' choirs in Europe. Documents testify to the existence of a religious and music school in Montserrat as far back as the 14th century. The Escalonia now accompanies religious ceremonies and communal prayers in the basilica. All the choir members receive a high standard of musical training, along with human and intellectual education. The choir enjoys international fame and prestige, giving concert performances all over the world, as well as building up a large catalog of recordings. Over the course of its history, the school has produced a good number of choir masters and musicians, as well as well-known composers and teachers. We were lucky enough to hear the world-renowned choir sing while we were visiting. is our first paella.
Paella con carne.
Ну что, как?
Very hot.
Very hot. It's gonna take our first couple bites. Craig, what do you think?
Muy bien.
Hi.
Hi.
Where are we going?
Going to Sagrada Familia.
Yes, that's right.
Metro.
Natasha. Привет. It's pretty cool. They have a really good metro system. You pay once and you can get on as many trains as you need to get to where you're going. They're at different levels and different colors, and both on each side, and you go wherever.
Oh, so we just gotta get on this one again?
So,
Okay, no problem.
yeah, next one's coming.
We're on the subway. Heading there now. Sagrada Familia. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Okay, Natasha's reaction. Whoa! So we just came out of Metro. Sagrada Familia, it's the real thing.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
That is. That's pretty cool.
Sweet.
We're finally here.
We are here.
Build such thing without equipment.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go check it out. Antoni Gaudí was the most famous Spanish architect, as well as one of the most unusual architects of the early 20th century. Through an eclectic approach, he created a unique architectural style blending Muslim and Christian design. Despite Gaudí's posthumous prominence, during his life he had no influence outside of Spain and little influence within it. Most of Gaudí's work was done in Barcelona. His most famous building is the unfinished expiatory temple of the Holy Family, the Sagrada Familia. Construction of the Sagrada Familia began in 1882. Gaudí took over as chief architect in 1883 and transformed the project with his architectural and engineering style. Gaudí devoted the remainder of his life to the project, and he is buried in the crypt. At the time of his death in 1926, less than a quarter of the project was complete. Gaudí loved and studied nature, and the laws that he recognized in nature he applied to his architecture. In fact, almost all of the Sagrada Familia is inspired by nature, and many natural elements are featured throughout the building, such as leaves, flowers, and animals. From the vine doors to the entrance of the nativity facade to the flower-shaped stained glass windows, natural elements are everywhere you look. But the most prominent evidence of nature is seen in the shape and layout of the columns. They call this the forest. Per Gaudí, all of the columns are meant to represent trees. The columns are divided at different levels as branches of a large canopy of trees in order to support all of the upper weight without any use of the flying buttresses, as in traditional Gothic architecture. Gaudí specially designed the facades of this building to rely on natural lighting through stained glass. The nativity facade is the one on the east side of the basilica, where the sun rises and symbolizes the birth of Jesus. Facade features the cool tone colors of blue and green. As you turn to face the west side, or the Passion facade, the stained glass features red, orange, and yellow colors that shed golden hues through the columns. Gaudí's intent for the Passion facade was to symbolize the Passion of Christ. He explained that he wanted to impose fear, and to achieve this, he used grandiose motifs and created shadows and dramatic lighting. One of the amazing things about the Sagrada Familia is the experience and the atmosphere is different depending on the time of day you come inside. There is so much detail in each stained glass window, door, and wall, inside and out, that there are endless things to see within the structure, not to mention that it is still under construction. This UNESCO World Heritage Site has been under construction for almost 140 years, and rumor has it that its construction is planned to be completed in 2026. On the 100-year centennial of Gaudí's death. Despite it being incomplete, the Sagrada Familia was one of our favorite sites to visit in Spain and is even more fascinating in real life. are in the tower of on the Passion facade.
Yep.
So these are the slits that you can see from the front. We're, what did he say, 152 meters up?
65 right now.
100, oh, only 65 right now. Ooh, long way down. So we take these little tiny stairs up. We took an elevator up here, but
Yep. Now we're gonna
the rest we go up.
Ooh, get out of this.
Oh, maybe we take a photo.
Wow.
Selfie.
Aww, we missed it! I didn't record it. The bells just rang. That is the art museum in the center there. Barceloneta. Here we're completely in the, here's the top of the tower. Hello.
Hello. Coming down from the Passion facade tower of the Sagrada Familia.
What do you think?
Thought it was awesome. We got to see the whole cityscape of Barcelona. So,
Pretty cool.
good times. Welcome.
So this is, they keep making models for what they're going to make, and this is their workshop. They have 3D printers to make models.
Gaudi disliked straight lines, and he preferred a more organic design to his arches. To achieve this, he created a scale model in which he hung little bags full of stone on chains, which pulled the arches into naturally occurring optimal incline by using the center of gravity.
I don't know what that is. What is it?
I have no idea. Sandbags?
He could adjust his arches and design as he went, and every adjustment would cause a physical recomputation and thus create the optimal arches. This way, he had more flexibility in his design, and he also eliminated the need for external buttresses to shift the load and support his arches, which Gaudi saw as a downfall of traditional Gothic cathedrals. When he was happy with his model, he would place a mirror underneath it and take pictures or make drawings so that he could recreate this in his architecture. If you place a mirror under this model, it will closely model the upright design of the Sagrada Familia.
Find some weight. Free Wi-Fi bars.
What did you guys think?
Fantastic. Unbelievable. Beautiful. Muy bonita.
We're gonna go see Gaudi's crypt if we can. He's buried here. We're coming into the other side of the building. This is where the crypt is. This is the other side of the glowing windows.
I guess the street is just taken up by people checking out the Sagrada. Restaurant that we found on TripAdvisor, and it's not going very well. Day one, kind of Barcelona. We're figuring it out. We're walking for days. We can't find our way. Wish we had our GPS. Even the lampposts are meant to look like Sagrada Familia. Some locals are taking us under their wing and helping us out. We're going to find our way to dinner. Craig, are you hungry?
Yeah, I'm pretty hungry.
We have found it.
Look at that market next.
Look at this, very pretty.
Is that just...
We got it.
Welcome.
We're in a very nice restaurant. Here we are. It comes as a package deal, so you get some appetizers. We have lovely prawns. We get some complimentary champagne and sangria. Jamon, otherwise known as ham. I'm not sure. It looks like sopa sopa. And we have some burrata cheese. Burrata cheese. So, we're enjoying. It is almost midnight, and the florist market is still open. We are headed back to our apartment. It is Thursday night, our first night. Barcelona. Buenas noches.
Todos las personas.
Our trek back to our apartment. Uphill. Oh, I don't know if you can tell. Get our workout for the day every time we go back.